Wacko that told him that though.
Because nigga, his statement in the motherfucking his statement there. Walk.
Bro, what you mean?
Damn, Triple
It's actually
OG.
been 3
Obviously
years.
you ain't going to court because you was going to court.
Triple OG.
Every time you go to court, they gonna let us know you going to court. So
I can't go to court for immigration if I got an open gun
what
case,
about
fool.
the gun case, bull?
I can't go to court for immigration if I got an
They will
open
give
gun
you
case,
your
gang.
time.
Wack 100's been yelling snitch at everybody for years, loud and non-stop. But now, a leaked wiretap link to 21 Savage just flipped the script. People are digging up Wack's 2005 federal gun case, and the streets are starting to wonder, has he been double-crossing this whole time? Picture this, the man who's always barking about rats might have just flashed a badge himself. Even if it was just for a second, that second could have been the moment everything fell apart. But hold up, that's not even the wildest part. The streets are whispering that 21 Savage himself might have been the one who leaked that tape, not just shared it, leaked it. Folks saying he's been holding on to that recording, just waiting for the right moment to strike. And honestly, can you blame him? Wack's been dragging 21's name for years, calling him a snitch, accusing him of cutting deals with ICE to stay in the US, even trying to link him to the whole YSL situation. And 21, he mostly stayed quiet, threw a couple lines back, then kept it cool. But if he really dropped that wiretap, that's not drama, that's a move. Straight chest, no talking, just letting the tape speak for itself. After all those clubhouse sneak disses from Wack, it's like 21 finally snapped without saying a word. Now when you start piecing this all together, it kinda looks like Wack's been screaming snitch just to keep eyes off his own back. And this ain't even new. People been hinting at this for a while. A few months ago, reports said Big U got hit with RICO charges. But before he turned himself in, he hopped on video and called Wack 100 out, said he was working with the feds. That's a bold accusation. And now things are looking real suspicious. Here's where things started getting real shady. Before the RICO charges hit the news, before the arrests, before a single paper dropped, Wack already knew what was coming. He called up Big U's wife and sent a message like, 911, he gotta leave now. Wait, what? That was before Big U even got touched by the feds. Wack's out here sounding alarms like a first responder, but instead of helping, it felt like he was setting the stage. That don't sound like a warning, it smells like a setup, like Wack knew the raid was about to hit and made sure to look like the hero after tipping them off. And get this, after Big U got booked, Wack hit the net acting wild, talking reckless, trying to flip the script and paint Big U as the snitch. Said he had a BlackBerry he was using to talk to the feds, but that move just made people more suspicious. Like, why is he always the first to know what's coming? How you always in the middle of the drama, but never the one getting caught up? That call to Big U's wife felt more like a man playing both sides, warning the very person he might have helped get lined up, standing close to the fire, but somehow never getting burned. That's when folks started seeing Wack in a whole different light, not as some street gatekeeper, but maybe someone hiding behind the Watchdog Act. And all this mess, it goes way back to 2005, when Wack and his brother got pulled over in Texas. Nothing too crazy at first, just speeding. Cops ask the usual questions. Wack says they're headed to a funeral in Oklahoma. But when they refuse a car search, the cops bring in a K9. That's when things popped off. The dog sniffed out a shotgun, a rifle, and a pistol, all loaded. Now here's the part nobody can just brush off. Wack and his brother were already convicted felons. So getting caught with loaded guns, that's automatic federal time. Ain't no walking away from that kind of heat. Cases like that shut down rap careers before they even take off. But somehow, Wack made bail and cruised back to LA like it was nothing. Then, silence. 2 whole years go by. No court dates, no trial, no noise. And out of nowhere, the whole case gets dismissed. But not because of missing evidence or a legal slip-up. Nope. The court stamped it as dropped in the interest of justice. Hold up. What? If you've ever seen how the system handles felons with guns, you know that phrase, don't just fall from the sky. That's not mercy, that's a trade. Somebody gave something up. Wack later tried to rewrite history, claimed the search was illegal, said that's why the case got tossed. But that was a cover-up. The records were public, and not once did the court mention any illegal search. Just a clean-cut dismissal. No explanation, no mess. And the timing, that's what really sends chills through this story. Because just a couple years later, Suge Knight, Wack's old boss from the death row days, started catching major heat from the feds. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Suge got hit with a gang injunction. His whole circle got torn apart. Wiretaps, raids, and names flying through paperwork. But Wack, somehow untouched. No charges, no press. Just smooth sailing like he was never even in the room. His name never showed up, not one time. Then came that wild kidnapping case tied to Shaq, the one where the Main Street Crips got caught up. Inside the transcripts, there's this dude named Wack making calls, leaving messages, and guess what people been whispering for years? That Wack was really Wack 100.
And I just want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about Wack. Wack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff. All of y'all filed. All y'all who be sending it around the internet, all y'all who be promoting and listening to what they're saying, all y'all giving these likes and hidden likes, all y'all supporting this.
Now jump to present day. Wack's all over the internet pointing fingers at everybody. Gunna, BG, Brick Baby, 21, even J Diggs, acting like he's the street's moral compass or something. But let's keep it real. That 2005 federal case, it just doesn't match the image he's out here selling. You don't beat a Fed gun charge as a felon with 3 illegal firearms in your trunk unless you're either the luckiest man on earth or you gave something up. And now that new video popped up, the one where a police ID flashes for a split second, it brought everything right back. Not just the badge, not just the drama, but that lingering question from nearly 20 years ago. What did Wack trade to walk away that clean? Because let's be honest, Wack's whole brand been built around one word, snitch. That's his go-to insult. Anytime a rapper gets arrested or signs a plea, Wack's the first one on Clubhouse yelling they folded. He did it to Gunna, said he had a 2-hour interrogation tape and threatened to leak it if Gunna didn't come clean. But the tape never dropped, just more loud talk. And he came for BG too, a man who already did over a decade inside, claimed BG cooperated, but no paperwork ever showed up. Even BG's old cellmate went public saying BG stood solid and never folded. But did Wack care? Not even a little. He just kept talking, loud as ever, like facts didn't matter. He just kept running his mouth. No receipts, no proof. And yeah, on the surface, it looks convincing. Folks who don't dig too deep might think Wack's got some kind of moral code. But the ones who really been watching, they're seeing the pattern now. Wack gets the loudest when heat's on him. Every single time something shady's circling back, he flips the script and starts pointing fingers. And here's the thing, Wack records everybody. Like, for real, that ain't how real ones move. You don't hit record on every convo unless you plan to use it or pass it off. People are starting to catch on, especially after noticing that some of the rappers he pulled onto Clubhouse ended up catching cases. Loose Cannon went on there, talked a little too much, and boom, got jammed up later. Now people are wondering, was Wack setting these dudes up to run their mouths? Making sure the clips went viral so prosecutors could swoop in after? The whole thing's starting to feel orchestrated, from how he provokes people into arguments to how leaks just magically show up whenever they help him. Not everything is hard proof, sure, but that pattern, it's hard to ignore now. At some point, you gotta step back and ask, what's really going on here? That leaked badge video might have been the spark, but it didn't come out of nowhere. This fire been building for years, starting from that 2005 case that disappeared like it never existed. Then him knowing about the RICO charges before they even hit. Add in the wiretap talk, the flashing badge, the recordings. It's looking less like coincidence and more like a setup with every move. And now, it's all boiling over. Wack's been riding the wave like he's untouchable. But the streets are connecting dots, and it's not looking good. That wiretap didn't just expose one moment, it peeled back a whole blueprint. People are saying this ain't just about clout or beef, it's about control. Wack's been building this messy empire off secrets, manipulation, and fear. Think about it. Why would a man with that much dirt on everyone always have a mic on, always leaking just enough to shake things up, but never enough to burn himself? It's like he's playing puppet master while claiming he's just an honest voice in the game, but folks aren't buying it anymore. Even people who once backed him are starting to switch up. Behind the scenes, some industry heads been distancing themselves. Labels, quiet, artists, not speaking up like they used to. That Clubhouse King energy Wack had, it's fading and fast. Because once the streets feel like you're moving like a plant, using your platform to trap others, there's no coming back from that. The respect turns into suspicion, and the loyalty, gone. And remember, this all circles back to one big question that never got answered. How did a felon with 3 loaded guns tied to a dismissed case keep skating for decades while everyone else fell around him? Now with all this smoke, from leaked audio to federal whispers, people ain't just looking at Wack like a loudmouth anymore. They're looking at him like a problem. And if this next tape drops like some say it will, it might be game over for real. Now rumors are flying that there's another tape, and this one might hit way harder than the last. Word in the streets is that someone's sitting on footage that could finally expose how deep Wack's ties really go. Not just with rappers, but with people way above street level. We're talking government names, backdoor meetings, and sealed deals that were never supposed to see daylight. And what makes it worse, folks are saying Wack's been paying to keep certain clips from dropping, allegedly cutting quiet deals behind the scenes to make sure certain people stay silent and certain files stay buried. But you already know, secrets don't stay hidden forever, especially not when you spent years making enemies on every platform. From Clubhouse to podcasts to the streets, Wack's been out here pressing everybody. But if this new tape drops, it could flip everything upside down. People already questioning how he moves, but this could be the final nail in that image he's worked so hard to sell. All that tough talk, all those he's a snitch claims. Suddenly it might look like projection. Because let's keep it a buck. If the streets really get a hold of something solid, like video proof of him moving foul, it's a wrap. There's only so many times you can talk your way out before the truth talks louder than you ever could. And once that tape hits the timeline, ain't no turning back. All those years of Wack dodging questions, spinning stories, calling people out, it could all come crashing down with one click of a play button. This ain't just messy, it's calculated. And the deeper people dive into the timeline, the clearer it gets. Wack might have been hiding in plain sight the whole time. Think about it. All these rappers he's accused of being snitches, no paperwork, no confirmed cooperation, just noise. But the one name that keeps circling back every time cases vanish, people get exposed, or the feds seem way too informed, Wack 100. That's what makes this different. This isn't just about trying to prove he's tied to the feds. It's about what that really means if it's true. If Wack's been plugged in this whole time, feeding off chaos, pulling strings while calling himself real, then the whole story we've been sold about loyalty, street codes, and who really runs this culture might be a lie. People laugh about it online, but let's be real, it's not funny anymore. Not when lives, careers, even families are getting torn apart off what one man says behind a mic. And now, that same man, the one who built his image by calling everybody else a snitch, is the one folks are really side-eyeing, asking the question that changes everything. What if he was wired from the jump? Because if that's the case, this whole game's been compromised for years. And the craziest part, Wack's still talking, still going live, still stirring the pot. And whatever he says next, that might be the final spark that sets the whole thing off. If you're watching this and you're shook like we are, hit that subscribe button, like this video, drop a comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear the real. Stay locked in, because this story ain't done yet.